Well, we're 2 days into the new year. What happened during the holiday season? And what are the food, fashion, or consumption trends that we can expect this 2024? We're joined now for his outlook by Suyen Corporation's General Manager, Jude Ong. Thank you so much for joining us, Jude, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
All right, Suyen Corporation owns more than 40 brands.
Correct.
International brands. Of course, its main flagship is Bench. So, what were sales like during the holiday season? Are we now back to pre-pandemic levels?
Yeah, I think the sales were good, Rico, and pretty much we're back to pandemic levels. On a system-wide perspective, but probably on a per brand to brand, there are some brands that are creeping towards 2019, but yeah, most of them have surpassed the pandemic levels.
Because you not only have clothing, food, but you also have salons, furnitures. I mean,
and
services. How can Suyen Corporation, under your leadership, handle all of these multiple brands?
Well, for one, you should have good people underneath. So I guess we have good managers to work with, and each of our brands would have a specific team as well. They have their own brand managers, they have their own operations, and yeah, I guess it's pretty much the infrastructure's there already.
And of course, what's really important, Jude, for every consumer is value for money products.
That's right.
How do you keep your products from one brand to another reasonable for all the consumers?
Well, that has been the motto of the company, to always have the value for money, even from Bench. Even when we get new brands, that has been our objective, to get brands that have value for money for our customers. So, in a way, Rico, because of our infrastructure and probably of the scale, so we could manage costs properly, and that translate into better pricing to our customers.
And pricing is indeed very important. No? Every centavo, every peso. Because a recent social weather station survey says only 33%, Jude, of Filipinos say quality of life improved. I mean, how do you employ your business strategy amid this kind of self-perception among Filipinos?
Well, I would believe that the quality of life had really improved. Probably the 33% would be.
But 66% say that quality of life has not improved. But we're seeing a lot of your stores, the malls, full.
And I guess even during the holidays, a lot of Filipinos are going abroad. Before Christmas until now, they're coming back. So, in terms of consumption, we see some traction. And, there are spending that's going on right now.
All right, everyone has spent their 13-month pay, their bonuses during November and December. What kind of trends do you see in the first quarter of 2024, especially for retail?
Right now, we're seeing of course, social media is very influential in our day-to-day life. And we are hearing these buzzwords, social commerce. It's primarily, social media, its use is really to make people aware or influence people into buying something. So with social commerce, you influence and you make people aware. Now you let them buy already there. So one of the most popular social media app, TikTok. So for Bench, we've already established social commerce in TikTok because we feel that, that's really one of the major trends right now, social commerce. So this year, we'll be launching our live selling as well in TikTok.
Live selling, when will this be?
This February.
This coming February. And will this live selling on TikTok just be Bench products, or it will also include your 40 other brands?
It's just Bench.
It's just Bench. But when you talk about social commerce, Jude, that also entails the help of social media influencers.
Correct.
Oh, but doesn't Bench already have a name for itself? It already has its brand equity that it doesn't really need social media influencers or how would you call it, endorsers to be able to push the brand?
I think you still need it, especially for the Gen Zs and the millennials. That's pretty much where they are right now. In social media, they really get influence from what they see. So, as bench, we need to be relevant.
And you have to remain relevant not only on social media, but also in public. We get to see these, how would you call this? 3-story tall, or even 5 or 6-story tall billboards along EDSA. And with all kinds of endorsers, from Filipino artists to K-pop and K-drama.
Actually, which brings me to the next retail trend, which is experiential. Most of the customers right now, they don't just buy your product. They want it to have some experience, which they can share as well in their social media. So that's why we have these fan meets, so that they don't just buy your clothing, but they also experience it when they go to fan meets. Some of them would have the chance to have a picture taking with their endorsers. So, that's really the experiential part of it.
And they would want to wear the shirt of a K-pop star, right?
Correct.
Just like Ji Chang-wook, right?
Correct.
Or Kim Seon-ho, or all of these Korean stars.
Same thing as in our food. Whenever we have activation, it's not just as simple as go there and buy the product, but we try to have some experiential activations in our store. Like for our koi launch, we did some peria type of activity where you darts.
Relatable events.
Relatable events. Correct.
But of course, there are also challenges in the business, right? From your salons to furniture to clothing to food. And that is, of course, inflation, right? Higher interest rates, the weak peso against the US dollar. With all of these input costs, are you transferring them to the consumer? Are you raising your prices?
Well, as much as we can, we don't. But, same thing as other retailers. We've gone through a series of increase, but it's very minimal. We try to, as they say, absorb the cost. So we try to do something that would be able to manage the cost. As mentioned a while ago, in all the other facets of our business, we try to lower down the cost by going into automation or investment in our logistics center. So try to be able to lower down the overhead costs, which would translate to a lower price. Or
all right.
cost.
You're talking about that keyword automation, and artificial intelligence became front and center in 2023 due to ChatGPT. Are you using technology more in enhancing, engaging your customers, or even improving the efficiencies of your services?
I guess right now, AI, we're using it more on the latter, on the efficiency. Try to improve, try to be able to predict what's going to happen, and try to get the numbers right. But on the customer engagement, we're still in the process of maximizing AI.
And of course, Suyen Corporation has over 40 brands. Will the group continue to bring in new international brands this year?
Yes. We have a couple in the pipeline for food and also a couple for fashion. Although we haven't signed.
But what are the fashion and food trends for 2024?
Sustainability, that's one. So, the Gen Zs and the millennials are pretty much all about sustainability. So, like for bench, we would have products that are shirts that are made from recycled bottles. We call it better made products. And underwear that are made from bamboo fabric. So these ones we already have, but we feel that the magnitude of these sustainability is increasing. So we need to come up with more of these products.
Sustainability and enhancing the circular economy. Thank you so much for joining us on The Final Word. And happy New Year and all the best to Suyen Corporation.
Happy New Year as well.
Jude Ong, General Manager of Suyen Corporation, the owner of the Bench brand.